you say your surname?
Abbagnano.
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 You got it.
Antonio Abbagnano.
Yeah, Abbagnano. Because you get to do all the ya you want. So what I do is simple, so ridiculously simple. I get people to breathe, but people forget what that means and what it can do. So I guess I remind people what can happen if we breathe properly. You know, if you just remember what your first breath of life was, but we can't of course, but if you can just imagine what that was like, that sort of just breathing in all existence in that one inhale, and then if you connect to what the last breath of life might be like, just that total release of everything we've ever had, and then you compare that with what happens in between, it's quite remarkable. So we don't normally breathe. We actually, anyway, in the environment, we get about 60% less oxygen than we did 200 years ago. And that's because we don't move as much, we don't take our constitutional, we don't exercise, we live in air-conditioned environments, and the air is dirtier, so it's not safe to breathe as much as it used to be. On a scientific level, your brain uses 20% of your oxygen supply. So imagine if you doubled your oxygen supply, how much more oxygen your brain would get. So what would happen? What would it look like if your brain was getting twice as much, superfood, call it? It gets to work better. So that's a physiological explanation. But it actually goes into the metaphysical and the spiritual as well, because when we inspire, we are breathing in spirit. So when we take spirit into this chunky, I heard someone call it a carcass the other day, when we take spirit into our carcass, what's that going to look like? And of course it's an extraordinary experience for most people, because we live in this dualistic existence and we've accepted it and we struggle with it and we battle on and we get to our destination. But actually, if we breathe during that process, we actually do get something like enlightenment. We do get visited by something of the other, and that can inform us.
But what are some of the things that you've experienced from either yourself or from observing what happens in a workshop?
Oh goodness, the list is too long for this clip, but to give you some highlights, I've seen an addiction broken in one breath session. I've seen couples come, older couples. I had a 65-year-old couple, and afterwards the wife came to me and she hugged me and she said, "That's the first time my husband has told me that he loves me in 25 years. So these are the sorts of things that can happen when we open to what's already underneath all these layers of protection that we put there. So really each time we're able to do one of these connected breaths, we unveil something and we discover something in ourselves that it's just remarkable who we are. We don't get to know that anymore, but this way we can find out.
It's very beautiful. So how can we find out more? Where do we need to visit? Website? Is there a group that we can belong to?
Yeah, you can either go, there are so many, I'm Gemini, so there are lots of them. Yeah, you can go to communityofhealing.com or BaliSchoolofBreathwork.com or alchemyofbreath.com, and they'll all take you to each other. So it's all part of the same heart-opening invitation. Thank you so much. It's been a delight. Yeah.